Welcome back. This is the I Think You Should Buy podcast. I am Nick Gutierrez.
Kyle Hendricks.
And we're back. It's Friday. Boys are buzzing. Got our coffee as usual. I feel like you guys by now are getting used to this intro, and we are enjoying the podcast and shooting this episode. So we're going to jump right in. Thanks for all the feedback, likes, comments, subscriptions. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm actually surprised, honestly.
Yeah, we're growing, and we love to see it. So
yeah, at a rapid pace. We're gonna have to, get a bigger studio here soon.
At some point, yeah, we are gonna have to expand. If any of you are considering sponsoring, as you can probably see by now, we are sponsored by Fiji as well.
Fiji actually took over Smart Water. They came in with a bigger check, and that's who we're gonna be most loyal to. So
yeah, that is true. So if you guys know, I mean, we are pretty high on the water sponsors. It seems like.
I know.
I don't know how that worked out, but
I mean,
it just happened.
Yeah, when the checks come, what are we gonna say now?
Exactly. What's the week been like so far? Give the fans an update on this last week.
Yeah, I got a big contract, which was huge. So on the work front, got 1.3 or so million under contract, which nothing too crazy,
just a slight flex.
But in this market, take what we can get. So pretty happy with that. Probably not even anywhere close to touching you. I know you've been on a bit of a hot streak.
Dude, you're just trying to gas me up for the fans, but no, so when you say a huge contract, what do you mean? Like it's a one you've been working on for a long time? Is it huge numbers wise?
More
all together.
Yeah, more just numbers wise. Like in this market too. Like as you know, it's a lot of smaller deals that are pieced together. Especially, I've been doing a couple in Kansas, and you can buy a mansion out there for like $300,000. So
yeah,
those loans have been a bit smaller, and then even in Washington or more expensive markets, a lot of people just due to rates are buying cheaper homes. Loan amounts have been a bit lower this year than past years, so got a larger contract in loan size. So that's good to see. So I was happy to celebrate that. Other than that, what else is new?
So you have 3 under contract?
Yeah.
And where are they at? Tell the fans where that you're helping buyers at.
Yeah.
One's in Kansas, you said?
I got one we just closed one in Kansas, but I have another one still under contract in Kansas, one in here in Arizona, and then one in Oregon. So
okay.
Also all over the place a little bit.
You don't even have one in Washington right now.
I do not have one in Washington right
now. I know. I think that's like important to. That's why I wanted to point it out, because I think people that have no idea what you do assume that like you only do loans where you live at, which for us, for real estate agents, most likely true, because a realtor's not going to travel to Florida from Arizona to go sell a home. We have the
they actually have to unlock the door, go and show them. And I know a few agents that'll be like Arizona and Washington, and they'll do both.
Peyton and Devin.
Yeah, and my guy William out there, who's we just closed the deal together, crushes it as well. And so it's doable, but as an agent, you got to be unlocking all the doors, actually showing the homes as the lender. We've both done tons of deals.
Yeah.
I think one time a buyer wanted to meet me in person because they were an elderly couple and wanted to actually they don't know how to work a computer very well. Yeah. So they were printed out all their documents in a big
come in with a stack
envelope and said, here you go, we got to scan these in. So other than that one time for, some of my grandparents' friends who are in their 70s, I've never
met people in person.
Yeah, not because I'm not willing to, because
honest,
I love to, but that was really the only time, and it was due to that, because most people are like, I got better stuff to do.
Has busy lives.
I'd rather click a button, and then I've got to they got to do their daily life stuff.
Yeah,
so
for sure.
Enough about me though. What's cracking with you?
Man, busy too as well. I feel like the market's picking up.
About time, eh?
I have to, right. I have to say, I have so much respect now for parents that not co-parent, but watch their kid together. Because we know a couple of couples that watch their kid, their son or daughter, throughout the day because they both work remote. Mm-hmm. And Bree and I are lucky enough to have Ella babysit, and so she had a day this week where she couldn't watch him, and it's a struggle.
Dude, I couldn't imagine.
Just passing him back and forth and trying to figure out each other's schedule throughout the day so that we're going to be available. And then there's times where she'll she'll have had him for like an hour.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm like, all right, I can take over. And then my phone rings like 5 minutes into holding him. And I'm like, I have to take this call. I had to say that if the people that do that are good for them, because we still are like, we have a decent system, but nothing that's.
You guys have been making it work for sure. But I got to say, every time we hang out with you guys and Bree, you guys are like trying to talk us into having kids. And then every time we have the podcast, it's just like, yeah, it's so hard.
It's
you're not selling it.
It's a good hard. It's definitely like helped us grow a ton.
Yeah.
And like time management wise, my like schedule now is so dialed in because of the fact it's like I need to be making sure I hit everything on time.
And I feel like too, this is like kind of a pivot here, but like a theme I feel like of the podcast so far is like in several episodes we've talked about like, all right, you just got to do it. Like you literally just something you want to do, just give it a shot, try it out, and you'll kind of like figure it out on the way. Yeah. And I feel like that's like with having a kid too. Like you're not going to know until you do it. Yeah. And so you guys are just doing it and figuring it out, and it'll probably get easier and easier.
Or like us shooting this podcast.
Yeah, say that. But on my end, I'm like such like a planner and like goals and like set like everything, like it's got to be perfect to where I'm like, okay, I'm going to wait like 3 to 4 more years until I'm in this financial position and this
doesn't work.
And then we'll have a kid. But I feel like it's like you can't, no matter what. Like,
well, no, because in 3 years you're going to have 4 other things on that list that you're going to want to check off. So at the end of the day, it's just like, I'm not maybe not with a kid. Don't do that. But for most other things, and kid included, like it's like the same thing with buying a dog, in my opinion. Not having a kid.
Yeah, having a kid and getting a dog.
Having a kid and no, but I just mean.
That's the clip for the week, right? Yeah. So this is why buying a dog and having a kid is the same.
It is. That's the topic of the week.
Yeah. It's gonna go viral.
There's never. Yeah. It's just like there's never a right time. There's always gonna be. You can always find something to deflect from. But another thing we did this week is we went to Whole Foods. Have you been there?
Yeah. When I want to just absolutely liquidize, as you say, all assets.
Okay, I'm glad you said that because I feel like it's not that much more expensive. Maybe I'm like totally wrong, but. We never go into Whole Foods and it's popping in there. They have so much stuff, and we spent more money than we need to on just random stuff because it's just easy to just go in. That's why I feel like we grocery shop and do the pickup because I'm like, if I go in the grocery store, I'm gonna buy stuff.
Yeah, you guys have kind of opened my eyes about that. I still haven't done it, but you said it's the same price to pick up.
Yeah, it doesn't.
I'm like, that would be good because every time I went to the grocery store yesterday to get like. Just a couple things I needed for the house. And then I'm like, it's like 4-pack of steaks is pretty cheap.
Yeah,
and then I was like, oh, strawberries 2 for $6. Like,
they get you. They know how to market.
Which, I feel like that would be smart. And I like what you guys do. I mean, I already like meal prep and stuff like that. But I like how you guys, because last time we were at your house for dinner last week, you're like, oh, yeah, we've got our meals planned out for the week. So because I meal prep breakfast and lunch. And then me and Jasmine make dinner together every night, or one of us makes dinner, the other one does the dishes kind of deal. But I like how you guys were like on Sundays or whatever, buy your dinners for the week. So you're like, okay, Monday, this is what we're having for the week. You don't have to think because that takes up some like time every day.
Well, it's kind of fun too. We're like, ooh, what do we want to like? We like are doing a new menu every week, or like, oh, we got to run back the taquitos this week, or whatever.
Like we're both foodies too, so like that's just a fun way to do it.
I feel like social media has made people like way more into food because half of like at least half my like algorithm is just food, and I'm like, I should try that, or I'm supposed to sending stuff back and forth. So I don't know. I feel like a lot of people are foodies now, and like Bree and I, like we were gonna go to New York, and we were planning our entire New York trip around just food spots we wanted to go to. We didn't end up going to Vincent, but.
Shout out, Vincent. Way to go.
We're going soon. He's going to come, dude, which will be like the life of the party since he's the most Italian in the family now. With that name, I mean,
he's going to get you your free card into all the good spots. And
yeah, he's got the hookups for sure.
Dude, I know because me and Jasmine just did New York for my first time ever about 6 months ago or so, 7 months ago. And dude, we were just talking actually last night. It's funny that you bring that up, that was our favorite trip that we've taken together. Dude, I didn't think, I'm not like a big city guy. Like I honestly like big cities kind of stress me out. And I like honestly like don't think I could ever live like in the heart of a big city or anything like that. But New York. And so I was going there. I was like, yeah, it'll be cool. I bought it for Jasmine for her Christmas or birthday last year. I can't remember. One of the two.
Which is just such a good idea. Like
we always do experiences over items. And that is like one of the best moves we ever did. Because it doesn't need to be a big one. Like we're not going to just ball out and go on New York trips for every gift. Yeah. But sometimes it'll be like, all right, we'll go for a 2-night stay on the Oregon coast. You know, it's a few $100, but it's way better than, you know, getting I got a new jacket or something like that.
That's what I'm saying. I think it's way better.
Yeah, memories we'll have forever. But I'm getting sidetracked. New York, I was like, yeah, this is more for her. Like, it'll be cool, but I don't really care that much. And then I left like, like that was one of my favorite trips ever.
Yeah.
One of my favorite spots ever. Like, it is insane.
What did you have like a preconceived idea of what it was going to be, and then was it totally different, or why do you think you loved it so much? Because I was already going into it like, dude, I think it'd be sweet.
Yeah.
Not that you weren't.
And I'm not saying I wasn't excited. I was, but I was just more I was like, oh, it's a trip for her, like for a gift. It's going to be fun. We'll be together.
Yeah.
But I was like, I don't really care to go to New York. It's just like a big city. I've been to Seattle, all this stuff. But then you go, and it's, first of all, East Coast is just different and stuff like that. So that was cool. And there's so much just like, I feel like, okay, like Empire State Building, like Central Park, Times Square, all this stuff. But then you actually see it and you're like, okay, this is pretty sweet.
Yeah.
And I didn't realize, because like we went up to like one of the tallest buildings, and it's called the Edge. It's really cool. When you go there, you should do it. It's like one of the top 3 or so tallest buildings. They have this big glass thing that goes out and you can literally see everything. And I didn't realize, because you're in the heart of New York. We were like in Manhattan right off Central Park. The city goes for as far as you can see in like every direction is just buildings and buildings. Yeah. And so it's like a Seattle and then a Seattle and a Seattle, like as far as you can see, dude. It's crazy. But the biggest thing for me was just there's endless stuff to do. Like I don't care that much about like Broadway and stuff like that, but like that was super fun. And like you said, the food, dude. Most of the trip was around food, and just like we went to this omakase sushi place. You know what omakase is?
No.
It's essentially like you just trust it. I mean, I forget what it actually means, but it's like you're just going to trust the chef. Like you don't know what you're going to get, but it's like usually like 15 to 20 courses.
Yeah, they just bring out stuff and you have no idea what's coming.
Yeah, and it was just like every bite from like each course was like basically like a big bite. Insane.
Yeah, that way you're like, not insanely full after the...
Yeah, dude, we'd be here all day talking about, you know, all the different places we tried, but it was just, I don't know, it's just kind of a vibe. Like the city just like brings your energy up because it's just like so fast.
I told Brie, I was like, if I went back in time and we'd still move to Arizona, but I'm like, in an alternate universe, I wanted to live in like a city, in like a huge building, like in an apartment, just for like a year. I would never want to do that for more than that time frame, but I think it'd be so fun to be able to like live that kind of lifestyle, and I've never lived that lifestyle before, so maybe that's why I want to. But
I agree. I know. I'm walking back on my words. Like I would never live in a big city. I could do something like that for a year. Like,
just like, for the experience.
Yeah, not for the long haul. And even like with New York, I was like, don't know if I could live here. Yeah. But this place is awesome, and I want to come back a lot. But like, I think I could do it for like a year. So
yeah, my in-laws went for like a month, I think, and they thought it was like the greatest experience ever. Like they were gonna rebook for the next summer and go, and I can't remember why they didn't, but I don't know. I'm super stoked to go at some point because it looks sweet.
Flipping this back to you, maybe we'll just talk about vacation and food the whole time. What's your guys' favorite, just out of curiosity, that you and Brie have went on, favorite trip?
Oh, dude, Bora by far.
Oh yeah, true.
Yeah, it was like, we got to stay in those huts.
And that was the honeymoon, right? So you guys are just on a high.
Yeah, we're on the high.
Yeah.
And like we had one of those pools in the back of our hut. Yeah. And so we'd wake up, pour coffee, and then just go in a pool and walk out of our slider into like this pool that was looking into the, I don't know if that's the ocean, but yeah. So, and then there's like this huge mountain right there. So it was sweet. And like,
I saw some of the pics. I'm like, dude.
We got to Ski-Doo or jet ski. And what was cool is we went out and there was legit like a pod of dolphins just pulled up on us while we were on the jet ski. So that was sick. By far one of the coolest trips I've been on. But New York and then going to Italy, those are like the two spots I've never been to. I've never been to Europe.
It's funny that you say that because me and Jasmine just did Italy actually like a year ago from now. And dude, you're going to freaking love it. Italy, because it's funny that you bring that up too, because last night we were debating. Jasmine, like, New York was, I think, my favorite trip that we've done together. I said, mine was Italy. And she's like, well, that doesn't count because I was with my family. I'm talking about just you and me. Yeah. But Italy would, I think, be both of our favorites. Her family took us. So that made it even more fun because her parents were there and her siblings.
Yeah.
But dude, you think the food in New York is good?
Yeah, then you go
then
there.
You go to Italy.
It's all just like so. I don't want to say not like organic, or it's like everything. It just feels
everything's fresher.
Yeah.
You don't realize it until you leave the U.S. and go like eat in Europe. Because I've been to Spain too, and where you eat the food there, you're just like. Like you said, I don't know how to explain it, but you're like this. I'm eating the same exact.
I don't even know why I said that because I've never even been there, but I feel like so what true. I've seen and heard.
It's just like if you get the same sandwich here and the same sandwich there, and on paper they're the exact same thing, but you eat the one there, you're like, I can tell that this because they don't have all the preservatives. Like their shelf life on stuff's shorter, but it's way fresher and more real. And dude, I just remember like going to like little markets in Spain. You put in like a couple coins, so it's like super cheap, and they have like these vending machines, but instead of like having a bunch of crap, it's fresh oranges, and they all just come down fresh.
Why don't we have that here?
And so, dude, you can just take like your own water bottles, you press it, and you just press OJ. It until you fill it, dude. It is like legit the best OJ.
Dude, start your morning with a little OJ, freshly squeezed.
Yeah, you got to go to Spain, and
maybe we'll just do a couple strip.
Well, that's what I was gonna say because we've talked with Bree and Jazz about this, like New York. I think with all four of us would just be because we're all just kind of same wavelength, like to do the same stuff. And Italy, dude, we'd have to ball out a little bit more, but maybe like for one of our like 30th or
which is gonna come up here soon,
way too soon, but something like that with us four would be so fun.
Yeah, we'll get it on the books. Yeah. Let's do it,
dude. And little Vinny going back to the homeland. Maybe we do that one, push that one out when he's a little older or something. But then we'll probably have young kids. So. We'll figure it out.
Yeah, we got to
pawn them off on the parents.
Yeah, exactly. That's what the in-laws are for.
Exactly.
You heard that?
Yeah.
But what have you experienced with when you're traveling? Like, what do you think is the most annoying part of like, especially because you've been to Europe, right?
Yeah.
Like, I hate flying.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that like for you guys is a huge, I don't want to say buzzkill, but like, I don't even know what I'm trying to say. I guess that's like my biggest concern is
the actual traveling.
Yeah, because especially with a kid, I'm like, that just sounds.
Yeah, well, adding a kid into the mix to a Europe flight would be pretty brutal. Like as like a newborn, obviously people do it, but then you don't want to be those people on the plane. I always feel so bad for those people on the plane because people get like pissed off at them. I'm like, I promise you.
Yeah,
they're not having a worse time than the parents.
Yeah, they don't want that to happen just as much as you do.
Yeah,
we saw a couple like when we were flying back from.
It's important to have grace in that situation.
Yeah, I was like waiting for them to look at me because I wanted to just be like, "Yo, you're good. Like, it's all fine. Yeah. Don't feel embarrassed." It's harder to say. We didn't have kids at the time, but yeah, that. I don't know. That does not seem fun to me. That long of a flight. If we're going somewhere short, then it wouldn't matter. But
yeah, no, it's brutal. And in Italy too. Basically, like when you're going that far, you almost live one of the days. Like especially with New Zealand. Going there, like you legit New Zealand because it's like as far on the time zones almost as you can get. You live the same day twice. So like say you leave on the 23rd, you basically do the 23rd over again there, and then when you come back, you leave say on the 3rd. Like I'll say on the 2nd, you get back here on the 4th. So a calendar day is like gone.
You're like, okay, the whole day went by.
It's pretty weird. No, it is brutal. Like going to Italy with her family, we packed so much stuff in there because like. If you're going to go there, you want to get in.
You want to knock out as much as you can.
Yeah, and then 2 of the days are essentially just traveling because it takes a while to get there and then takes a while to get back. So I mean, dude, it was just a marathon, but you just go in with the mindset. You're like, okay, this is going to be 2 full days of traveling. But luckily, especially when you're going to a place like Italy, you're like, well, best coffee in the world. Like,
yeah,
dude, I'm not even a big coffee guy. I've just started to like get more into it now with Sprouts and brewing, like grinding my own coffee and stuff. But in Italy. Before that, I wasn't even that into coffee. Dude, I probably had 50 cappuccinos. Or like every place.
How are you not just pooping every like 2 hours? Or were you?
We'll leave that.
I was going to say, that'd be
insane. The mystery. But, dude, it's just like you walk by and you just see like the dopest little cafe. And it's like $1 or $2 for like the cappuccino. You're like, oh, I have to. And you just see them. You're like, it looks so good.
Your heart rate is just off the chart.
Coffee there is like more like bars. So like,
what do you mean?
All their coffee, not all, but basically all their cafes and stuff it looks like a bar. And you just pull up, you pay them, you like are standing just like talking with people.
Chug it.
You kind of, because a lot of them are espresso. So it's literally just a shot. You take a shot. talk for a few minutes and then walk out. There's no one's really sitting down and stuff.
Dude,
like
that's
that.
sweet.
It's pretty sick, dude.
Yeah, I like that.
All the little things that you would never think of. That's like one of my favorite things about traveling. And before I forget this too, because in Bora Bora, you brought up Sea-Doo. And speaking of traveling, our high school senior trip in Cabo. You remember this?
Yes,
the Sea-Doo extravaganza?
Yeah, we need to run that back at some point. Is go back to Cabo with that group.
It was you and Logan, I think, and me and Cerny. We, for the listeners, both rented Sea-Doos. We're both fresh.
I feel like Jake was driving, wasn't he? Or were you?
I think it was me, honestly. I don't know, though. It could have been. It was one of us two. But for the listeners, this was our high school senior trip. We go down to Mexico. Drinking's legal. We're freshly 18 and stuff like that. So we have a few beverages and crash Sea-Doos into each other.
Yeah, luckily we didn't have to pay. That would have sucked.
Yeah, luckily it didn't really dent them up too bad, and they didn't ask any questions. I think there was a little scratch, but they didn't ask any questions.
Yeah, I feel like that was like probably 2 or 3 hours before we found Smokey on the beach, just getting destroyed by waves.
That trip was all time.
That could be a good story to tell. Maybe we'll have to have some. Wait, oh no, he was already here. We didn't even get to see him, huh?
No, he was on like a work trip.
That doesn't even surprise me. He usually flakes like
just
that.
Coming into town and then not hitting the boys up is absurd.
That's kind of
Speaking of, HD is going to be in town next week and wants to get dinner with us.
I might not be here, but
we'll
see.
I think he gets here before you leave, but if it doesn't work out, then it don't work out. But
sorry, Hunter, I tried.
But. Yeah.
Do you have any good stories this week? Like anything that funny or bad that happened to you?
Not really. I mean, I'm trying to think. Oh, I mean, Jasmine had surgery on Monday, so I've kind of just been
nursing her back to health.
Yeah, just taking care of her, which she's just been champing it out. Honestly, I haven't really had to do that much, other than more like the cooking and stuff is just me this week, which is completely fine. So I mean, I didn't really have to do much other than I went and worked.
Harrison Butker would just be so pissed at you if he found out you were the one cooking.
Dude, I'm so sorry. Honestly, nothing really changed because I'm usually the one cooking anyway. Because I feel like we've talked about this with Jasmine and Bree. Like we both cook probably more, and stuff, which I don't mind at all because I like cooking. But yeah, so I mean that was a big thing this week, and everything went really well. So worked from the hospital on Monday and then brought her home, and she was a little out of it on Monday.
Was she loopy?
She was loopy for sure. It was
because they had to put her down, right?
Yeah, they put her down.
Yeah, like old Yeller, like they had to. Yeah. No, but she gets knocked out. She went under.
Yeah. And yeah, so it was kind of funny. The wheeling her out and stuff. The nurse kind of like gave me a little like smile and chuckle. She's like,
"Good luck,
have fun." And then we get we're like, it's like literally a 2-minute drive from our condo. So we're like almost home. She's like, and so we went back and got Chick-fil-A.
Like, what was that? I said I want Chick-fil-A.
Dude, and she said something. I don't know my phone's filming, but I saved it in my notes because it was so funny. But she's like said something to me when she was eating the Chick-fil-A. She's like it tastes so much better on the drugs.
Dude, she's not wrong. Chick-fil-A on drugs hits, dude.
Absolutely.
That's one of those things I feel like everyone can agree on.
Yeah, but no. So that was really the only thing out of the norm this week. And shout out Jazz. She's like basically back.
She's healed, back to health.
Yeah, she's getting there. So. Yeah. What about you, dude? What's new in the?
Nothing new. Just normal, pretty normal week for me. I feel like the only thing I just keep running into. I had like 2 or 3 run-ins with people throughout the week where they're just so like, I don't want to say disrespectful. I have a hard time trying to relate from someone's point of view when they're just like approach a conversation without coming in like on an even playing field.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day,
someone comes in hot or something.
Yeah, and it's like we're all trying to get to the same endpoint, right? Yeah. Whether it's like with work, personal life, like we all want to be zen. I don't know. I feel like I've like growing up over the last couple of years, I used to be so one-track minded. Like I always like felt like everyone needed to see from my point of view. And I feel like the older that I get, the more I realize like you don't know what somebody's going through. You don't know what their situation is. 100%. And so I think it bothers me more when people approach a scenario from the opposite view now, because I did that at one point and I'm like, hey man, we're all just trying to get, I'm trying to help you.
They come in with like a preconceived notion.
Right.
And you're like, dude, you don't know. Well, like maybe you didn't sleep last night and you've been up all night or whatever, vice versa. Or Yeah, it's important to kind of keep that perspective, I feel.
Yeah, and I never make excuses, and a lot of it has nothing to do with me, and it's more so the other person of like, hey, just like, let's take a step back. So
no, just an example.
It's a constant game of that, but let's hop into with that. I have a good sell. This week my sell is pretty specific, and this didn't even happen to me. I just thought about it because I hate excuses, which is why I just said, like, usually I don't make excuses for myself. My sell this week is when people say in conversation, like, no, I don't even care, but like, and then they go into talking about something that's upset them or pissed them off. And I feel like it's the same thing when someone says, oh, I'm not mad, or like, well, dude, I don't even care, but, and it's like those kind of like phrases to start a conversation. Yeah. And it's like, well, we're not having this conversation because of me. You're the one that's bringing it up. So you do care. And so it kind of goes back on what I was just saying. It's like most conversations can be so much more progressive when people are just vulnerable and like, hey, this bothered me. Or
hey, I do care, and that's why I'm bringing it up.
This is what I want to talk to you about because X. I feel like lack of communication is just the root of so many problems. So that's my sell is just that phrase of, I don't care, but
I love it. Yeah,
I'm like, you do care because that's why we're having this conversation.
I like it, dude. My sell I thought about on the way walking out this morning from a text that I sent to you because I said something and then I said LOL. Dude, mine is like corporate email like jargon, dude, because
you don't like that.
Yeah. Well, let's just circle back and I'll
follow up.
But dude, I never said LOL. I like intentionally never said it because I'm like, that is the stupidest freaking thing. Like, unless you're legit busting out laughing, don't say that.
There's different things you can say instead of LOL.
And so I've never said it my whole life. And then the last few years, like being in this business, I've just like, now I just throw it out without even thinking of it. Cause like you're emailing like a coworker or whatever. And like, it's just everyone, it says it. So I don't even realize it. And then I'm texting you today and I say, LOL, I'm like, did I really just freaking say that?
Why did I do that?
Dude, and
I feel like it's such an old texting phrase.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that we used it in like middle school maybe.
Yeah.
And I do it now because my mom drops it in like every other text. And I'm like, you're not laughing. I know we're not even
You're definitely not laughing out loud. But yeah, dude. So that's my beef of the week. And honestly, I guess my sell of the week's myself for just saying I need to cut it out.
You are yourself.
Yeah.
Just cut it.
Dude,
seriously.
It's honestly bad. But that circle back, like
follow up.
What are some other good ones? We're missing so many right now.
I don't know why, but the word synergy comes to mind. If somebody's saying, I feel like there's so many that we could go off and rattle. But do you want to do your buy? You want me to go?
You go.
Yeah, my buy. Everyone's been waiting for it. It's a hot take. It's actually not a hot take, I don't think. But dude, the smell of gasoline.
Dude, that's not a hot take at all.
So gas. The smell of gas is so gas, dude.
I love it.
I've talked to people that don't agree, and I have no idea how, because I think it's almost like a high when you smell.
Yeah, do yourself a favor if you're listening to this and you don't love the smell of gas.
Unsubscribe.
Turn it off. We don't want you listening.
Dude, pumping gas and hopping out of the car to that smell, I'm like,
I absolutely love it. I don't think that's a hot
take. It's nice, dude.
I love it.
I was filling up my gas, and I literally had to go in my notes. I'm like, oh, this has got to be a buy for sure, because it's just, since I was young, I think maybe my mom, when I was younger, I remember being like, I think I told her, like, it smells so good. And she's like, what? Like, thought I was crazy. No, I guess, Mom, you unsubscribe as well if you still think that way.
Yeah, everyone knows that about you. They're like, yeah, Nick, that guy loved this.
Yeah, dude. That is one of the top 3 things people should know about me.
I like it. All right. I'll round us out here. And speaking of Cabo, this comes to mind, and place near and dear to my heart, Maui, which this was like a daily occurrence for me. My buy of the week is tackling a freaking wave, dude.
Yeah, that's
running
a great
full
buy.
Speed as fast as you can and just spearheading right into a wave and just having Mother Nature just absolutely just humble you and just ragdoll you. This is no exaggeration. We'd go to the beach, Jasmine would read her book or whatever, and she would have to like drag me home, like, because I literally would
like, is that her son?
I would just do, I would just do that for hours. Like, I'm legitimately a child.
Well, I think we did that in Cabo for probably like 3 or 4 hours a day.
For your batch trip?
Yeah.
Just slopping them out,
just
dude.
Like 10, 28-year-old males just getting destroyed by waves.
It's just like, I think the best part about it is like, it just strips everything away, and you're just like your most pure self. You're like,
yeah, you're just so vulnerable.
Really though, like, dude, we were all just like such children, like the dumb grin.
It does, dude. It makes you a child again,
dude. So that's my by the weekend. The second that I get back to Maui,
you're jumping straight in.
We're throwing the suitcases in the house. I'm taking the tarp off, running straight to the beach and
It's gonna be such a joyous moment for you. I'm so jealous.
I'm honestly probably gonna just start like levitating when that happens. Dude, of just pure joy.
That's gonna be just pure bliss.
Yeah. So should we wrap this up?
Yeah.
All right. So I mean, we gotta just kind of free ball it, I guess, off this for now. But basically, we're gonna try and end it the same way every week, and that is to go subscribe. And as Nick said last week too, leave a comment. Because we're always like, hey, what do people want to hear? We have no idea what we're doing. So leave a comment of like maybe some episode ideas or things you'd like to hear us talk about. And if you do that, we'll pick a person each week, send you a Starbucks gift card, get some free coffee on the boys.
Yeah. I mean, come on. You don't want free coffee? Really?
Yeah, exactly.
Really?
And then subscribe as well. Because if you do that on Spotify and on YouTube every Wednesday when the new episodes drop, it'll update you on your phone.
Please subscribe. I don't know. Last week I said don't subscribe. I didn't mean don't subscribe. I just said comment and subscribe. So
and if you guys don't subscribe, I mean, Fiji Water's probably going to drop us.
Yeah.
And then we won't have any sponsorship money coming in to keep the lights on.
Mm-hmm. Great point. Well, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week.
All right. Another one.